In 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to Janky AF and my Janky life. Oh boy, well, we got a little bit of the winter blues. We'll not try to not make this too much of a doom and gloom sad episode here, but there's just all sorts of stuff going on. The first thing is just some personal loss, you know, very close to us, and it's private, so we're not really going to get into it, but if you know, you know. And so that's kind of reigning over everything here. Anyone who's ever lost someone that they're close to knows how it goes. But anywho, we're, you know, trying to, you know, survive and thrive and move on to the next chapter and be supportive and all that. So anywho, we have an Aerostar here, which I'm going to try to start up, and then we'll sort of get into this draft thing where you open a door, and even though all the snow's on the outside, it all blows on the inside. The physics of the draft. It's kind of like a siphon in a toilet, honestly, where the effect of the moving water carries the other water with it, and that's why you have that S-trap that it rolls around and it pulls all your waste with it down the chute. So it's kind of a neat factor, but when you're opening a door, it's not so neat. So I wasn't even going to talk about the brown Aerostar today. That's a whole nother conundrum here, but we're going to try to fire this one up as we do every few days. Starts right up. The green one's doing really good right now. It's a fresh battery, really good. It's got some lights on in the dash, but we're not driving it on the roads because of, you know, the salt and everything. As you can tell, it's a complete winter wonderland here. But we at least started up, run it every little once in a while. It's just been snowing non-stop. I've had to shovel out my driveway probably 7 or 8 times already, and obviously have fallen behind. I've been really good at keeping up on it. Our Fiat is still outside. We're still going to try to get that and trying to keep a path clear for it yanked out so we can eventually pull it into the garage, which is still kind of full of stuff at the moment. The brown Aerostar, got that towed up to $1 Million View, where I keep it for the winter usually, and I do think I have a clip which maybe I'll toss in here. I got up there and it feels like the shifter is completely separated from, you know, the transmission basically. So hopefully it's just some, you know, linkage or something got disconnected and it didn't, like, you know, shear and snap off. That would be bad. So that's another thing. I guess I don't need to carry this around with me. Just another sort of great, you know, 1 step forward, 2 step backwards thing. And then yesterday I wrangle up here, got all our somehow in the last year I've managed to lose like 3 extension cords, but luckily these were on sale pretty cheap, so I got more lead cords, just the right height, because sometimes I have way too much length. So I got just enough what I needed, got them in there, plugged them in, everything turns on, which is great. Maybe I'll turn them on right now for you. You can't really see too much in the daylight. There's Barry. Hey Barry. Barry always brings happiness and cheer to our lives, so that's nice. So, you know, I got so lazy the last 2 years to take these down that I ended up just leaving them up, but, you know, the advantage to that is they stay up. So now, you know, really, the icicle lights really sort of give prominence to the double roof line here, so we thought it was cool. And I do think I have one more set, so I think I might start right here. And depending on how long they are, maybe I'll just skip this little section and wrap around the peak right here. So that looks nice. Baker scaffold's still out. That's got to get brought indoors. Anywho, and I shoveled off that whole side of the roof too. And I'm climbing down the ladder, feeling all accomplished and proud of myself, and, you know, like satisfied. Okay, we got forward progress. We made something happen. And as I'm climbing down the ladder, my sweetheart goes, "Hey, you know the internet's out." So our genius very expensive plan. Now, it was very windy, so I'm still happy that we took some of these trees down. But now, and I have binoculars, I've been trying to look up there and see if I can see anything wrong. Way up there. Now, it seems as if somewhere along the line, the Starlink cable got disconnected because it's not feeding power to the router up there. So, you know, what do? It's 80 feet up in the air. I'm not a climber. So after spending all this money, I just talked to the climbing guy. It's going to be, you know, not a crazy amount, but again, the problem is once he climbs up there, if he plugs a new cable in or tries to replug this one in, I'm probably going to buy a new cable. It's like no guarantee that it's actually going to work if it got wet in there, or the contacts messed up, whatever. So, you know, I knew this was like a risk, but tons of people put Starlinks in trees and stuff. So it just seems like bad luck. Everything about like just the way the trees are situated, like we're one of only 4 houses in this like basically entire, I don't know, couple mile radius that don't have the high-speed internet, the rural high-speed internet that was brought to this area through grant funding. We're like the only people that don't have it. So, you know, you get a little, start feeling a little sorry for yourself, and you know, woe is me and all that, and you remember it's really not that bad, and you know, you'll figure out a solution, and it's just money at the end of the day. But at the moment, it's, you know, it's like, because I was really looking forward to start doing live videos on JKAF and the Sweetheart Doer Zoom meetings and all that. So now we got another sort of thing to contend with. I might try to get on the other side of the house with my binoculars and see if I can see. They did put like a slack in the line to try to keep it from, if it did have a tugging motion on it, that it wouldn't rip the thing out. Like they were good about creating like a slack stop in the thing. But anyways, that's what's going on with that. So major, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to upload this video because of that. Now it's going to be dark in here, and the GoPro's not great in the dark, but hopefully it adjusts, or I'll just adjust the gain in post, as they say. I have been making progress, as always. You know, we got all, I think some of this was up here, started to get the metals up, the pony metals, but it was much more crammed in here. And so all the clothes have moved here. There was a table here, I got rid of it. Now this was upstairs. During the holiday season, I'm sort of, oh, there's Lenny. Hey, Lenny. I'm sort of sequestered to the basement, as it were, but I got my easel up, so I'm going to try to get my painting down here, finally finish that. This is like the last of, you know, if I can make it through this pile of stuff, which it is sort of like the distillation, like in a culinary reference, it's like a reduction. So, but if I can make it through this pile of stuff and get this organized, whatever's got to get throw it away, whatever's got to get put somewhere permanent or semi-permanent, so we can get this area totally cleared, then the Sweetheart can use it to hang her like blankets or whatever for her ponies. And it's really not too bad down here temperature-wise, which is nice. None of the paint will freeze. I did a little tidying up in here. My paint area is a little bit more tidy. And I vacuumed all the floors. I washed all this horsey stuff. I got this, which was really driving me crazy. This area is completely cleaned off now. Obviously, I've started to set traps here. I haven't baited these yet, but we're going to try to do, you know, like keep on top of the rodents. So move some stuff around. Fresh kitty litter. Always give Lenny the fresh kitty litter. So that's like, we got the shelf here. I don't even remember if this was here last time. I think it might have been, but we're trying to get little by little organized. It's always, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but we got a nice little section down here. It's pretty clean. It's pretty, you know, somewhat organized. I think I have some more of these in the garage. I got to get those moved out of the garage so I can, you know, demo that. And just it's better to have them in the basement here than in the garage. So that's like a little victory. And the funny thing is the lights in here are all controlled by the main switch. So if like, and then I'm just running this like janky cord situation out of the outlet here, which controls all my computer stuff, my speakers, my amp, my, you know, everything. So like if I have to put a piece of tape over the light switches, if you turn off the light and I'm in the middle of something, it's just going to completely wipe it out. So that's kind of very janky and funny. Again, we have all these clothes. I got to do something with these clothes. I, you know, one day I would love to sell some stuff on eBay or maybe just give them away to people. I also did a little bit of spray foaming in here. Now I know that rodents will chew through spray foam eventually, but this is supposedly the mouse, you know, the rodent spray foam, so it's like extra heavy duty or whatever, and it's just a starting point. But some of these really bigger gaps trying to fill up. So little by little trying to make the place more secure and more livable for humans. And so Brown Arrow Star's down, Starlink's down, and you know, it's been a little bit of rough sledding lately here, and I do apologize that I have not been releasing more videos. I really wanted to catch a groove, especially with some of these live videos. Seems like, you know, That's what I say every time, and then we release them when we release them. But that's okay. I really appreciate, it's funny, every time I check, I have new subscribers. I gotta check the comments and respond to them. But little by little, the Jankyverse trickles out into the rest of the universe, and it's just kind of amazing that without really doing much in the way of like promotion or all these sorts of things, that it just sort of trickles out there. And that's really cool to see, because that's always my conception of it. Like, Janky is as Janky does, and it would almost seem counterintuitive. Oh, he's waiting to the snowplow. Look, I got a pink cloud. It's cute. The word authenticity is obviously overused and all that, but shut this guy off here. Got rid of probably 10 giant garbage bags of just like crap over the last 2 weeks. Thank you to our wonderful garbage men and women who do such a wonderful service to us. So that's been good. Every time another load goes out, it feels like, okay, it's that much less stuff. I've been working sort of in the background on the Janky www dot, as they used to say, www dot. They say 2 W's even though it's actually 3. www dot. That one. The information superhighway, the Janky painting website. If you go there right now, actually, it's going to be kind of janky because there's going to be some links that don't really make sense. But I've been working on that. We're slowly fusing together the painting with, the professional painting, with the artistic painting, with the music, with the filmmaking, with the car stuff, and with the toilets, and it's sort of this slow stew that's sort of like boiling and melding and marinating and coming together. You like my drug rug, by the way? I'm a real big fan. This is the only drug rug I have. I've had others in the past, but I think this is like, I just really like this one. It's got like the dark blue base with the rainbow colors. It's got like interesting like olive greens and like all these different colors in there. So I really like this. I dug this out of storage. Really quite a fan of this. I call it drug rug affectionately, It's not a pejorative. Anywho, I figure I'll ramble a little bit longer because I haven't done one of these in a while. Nothing's really changed in here, all that's got. I made some progress, but then it kind of stopped for the winter. So, maybe there's one of my lead cords. Found one. And over here. Anyways, it's encouraging to me that despite not really, I'm not saying I don't do work, like I'm always working, but without doing any really heavy promotion or like trying to get a short out every 10 seconds like they say you're supposed to, or doing TikToks or whatever, what all the kids are doing. It's slow, obviously, but it's steady, and that's cool. It's just cool to see that, I would have figured by now I'd just be like hemorrhaging subscribers, but I'm actually gaining them. Even the fact that I'm maintaining them is amazing, because that means there's over 1,000 people that are like, yeah, I'll watch that, which is like, it's great. So here, as you can see, it looks like a lot, but this would, if I really needed to at a moment's notice, give me 5-10 minutes and I can get all this stuff parked around the corner, and then we could fit a car in here. So eventually we'll do that. We just got to get, some sort of vehicle that's able to pull the Fiat out into the road so I can push it back. I don't love the fact that the Fiat's going to be on the road with all the crap on there, but it's not like it's moving at 40 miles an hour, so it shouldn't really get the underside too bad. And the underside of the rockers are rusted out, and perhaps one of my jack points too, so it's going to need some service anyways come springtime, or whenever we have any sort of more than 2 nickels to rub together to throw at something. So there you have it. It's been a kind of a rough winter already, but I don't even know if I can grab this. Bear with me for a second here. Very good podcasting. What is your problem? You shut off?